Imagine the year 2004. Britney's on the radio. Tobey Maguire is Spider-Man. And one teenager, though, decides the only way to get his attention is to kidnap him. Kidnapping Tobey Maguire. The show is called I'm Gonna Marry You, Tobey Maguire, and it is the debut production from Zingher Productions, running September 24th through October 11th at the Warehouse Studio Theater in Cornelius. So joining us right now is director Jessica Zingher and actor Adam Peal, who plays Tobey himself.
That's right.
Yes. Good morning, friends.
Good morning.
Nice to have you. I love this little entertainment block that we've got for local theater. This is a very interesting choice for a premiere production, Jessica. Yes. Why this story you wanted to launch the company with?
So it does two things that we're really passionate about as Zingher Productions. One is kind of merging both live performance and then kind of film performance. It's going to be a little bit of both throughout the night. And then, of course, it has this wonderful kind of universal story of finding refuge in entertainment. Shelby's world is a little off kilter for her, and she really finds escaping into Tobey and Spider-Man and just all of that kind of Y2K fun that we had back in the day
yes.
as kind of like her refuge for that.
Yeah, Y2K. It seems so long ago. And Adam, you play Tobey.
That's right.
Okay, so you're playing not even a character, you're playing someone who is real,
Yeah.
a very famous person. How did you approach this?
Well, I think what I don't want to do is try to recreate Tobey Maguire verbatim. I think the goal is probably to find a heightened version, a theatrical reality, and bring this person to life. Mm-hmm. This person that was everywhere in 2004,
Really?
and embody that person, but make him a real life lived person.
Yeah, so funny because with the Spider-Man, is it premiering tomorrow or not premiering?
It's premiering tomorrow.
It starts tomorrow,
Yeah.
right? The newest
Yeah.
one. So I was watching all the Spider-Man movies to just get freshen up on all the sequels and stuff. And saw the first one with Tobey, and then the one that was he was with all the Spider-Mans.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right, with Andrew Garfield and of course our new one. But anyway, so yeah, it's funny to see Tobey as an older version of him, but you're playing 2004.
That's right.
So how do you lean into the younger Tobey and sort of, a character or a famous person playing a character?
Yeah, I think 2004 was a time when celebrity crushing and obsession was still big, still popular, but there wasn't social media. Mm-hmm. So there wasn't the ability to be continuously obsessed and follow someone. So this teenage girl sees this person, thinks she knows him, because you don't have that immediacy that we do with social media today. So what's nice is I get to play a Tobey Maguire with the sort of veil lifted, if you will, and let this sort of not perfect, unpolished, a little messy Tobey show up and explore what that person might be like. And so I think the interesting and fun challenge will be that it isn't this social media obsessed world we have now. Mm-hmm. There's a distance. So there's room to play, I think, and room to explore what kind of Tobey existed in 2004 behind the veil of the shine and the Leo DiCaprio and Gyllenhaal of it all. Yeah.
Right. And Jessica, so you mentioned that it's a little dark here, a little quirky, a little out there. What is your approach in directing that?
So I love going for big kind of high concept kind of work. But what I'd love to kind of do is then find the human universal part of that. So we are going to have a little bit of a short film as part of it. We also have a robot. We also have some projection mapping. We have all of this kind of just really kind of out there parts of the story. But at the core of it is someone who is finding solace in the online world instead of dealing with her own problems. And I think that is something that reaches across audiences right now, regardless if it's 2004 or if it's 2026, right? We've all been someone who's like, I'm having a really bad day at work. I just want to binge watch Below Deck for a couple hours. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? And she's
right.
just someone who took that to the extreme.
To the extreme. As far as Warehouse Studio Theater in Cornelius, why go with that theater, that area?
So Warehouse Studio Theater is one where I have had a close relationship with for the last decade. So it's something, it's a little bit like starting my first production like this at home, right? Up there in Lake
Alright,
Norman.
nice.
And then of course it also is one of the few black boxes in the area that has the kind of light and sound and also the large audience bank that allows kind of both immersive and intimate feel, but also can pull off things like, again, a talking Tobey poster. There's only a couple places in town that will allow us to do that, and Warehouse is one of them.
All right, very cool. We're looking at some images from the other productions.
Yes.
Where did it play before? And it had some success.
Yes, so it played up in New York. Originally, it started as an Upright Citizens Brigade show, and then it also had a massive sold-out run in London. I actually saw that the London run a couple of years ago when I was over there working, and I saw it, and I was like, this needs to come home.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
As a former 14-year-old American girl, I need to bring this home.
Yeah, and I was going to say, so who should see this and why?
Oh, I mean, this is definitely for your Gen Z, millennial, online kind of obsessed culture fan. I mean, I think, again, we've all been there, but I would say if you are under the age of 45, this is going to feel very visceral.
Okay, yeah, it sounds like fun, even if you're older than 45.
Yes.
Yeah, you know. And so the best part about playing Tobey Maguire for you, Adam, is what?
Well, like Jessica was saying, I grew up at a time where Tobey Maguire was my Spider-Man. That was the Spider-Man I grew up with. I grew up doing the thing he did in Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah, right.
And so the chance to play this character that I kind of idolize, like a lot of young people at that age, is just going to be a fun exploration, and also to play him in a way that is not, again, this boxed in, polished Tobey Maguire that we saw on the big screen. You get to see him in some real weird situations,
Right.
that also lets him be messy and not so polished. And as an actor, that's really fun for me to subvert, I think, audience perception, and maybe give some of these teenage girls at the time a chance to see what it would be like to kidnap their crush.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a little. I feel like it's a little shiny. The Shining. Remember that?
Oh,
That
a little bit.
with-
Yes, it's definitely an element of I think Shelby thinks kidnapping Tobey Maguire and forcing him to marry her in her basement is going to be one way, but actually, like all things kind of online, it's actually really different in the real world.
Yeah.
And she and Tobey kind of go through that journey together.
Okay, and let's talk about the talent in the Charlotte metro area, around the lake, Cornelius, what have you. I mean, we've got some really great talent. How is this cast?
So Adam was cast. He was recommended to me by a friend who was just like, I saw your perfect Tobey Maguire in a show 6 months ago. Here is his contact information. You've got to go grab him. Shelby, who's playing Caroline, who's playing Shelby. I worked with her last year with the Charlotte Conservatory production of Continuity, and working with her for those 6 weeks. I spent the entire time going, I think I found my Shelby. I'd wanted to do Tobey for a while, but I wasn't sure who I was going to ask to do it. But working with Caroline, I was like, she's Shelby.
All right.
So yes,
Adam, you're feeling Shelby?
Yeah. When we did a sort of a chemistry test and when we auditioned together, it was a very easy way to connect with her. And it's as soon as I read the script, I'm working a lot as an actor, and it's lovely to be presented with a script and read it and go, I've not seen anything like this in Charlotte.
Fun.
There's nothing like this. It's going to be fun to dig our teeth into, and I think we got the right people in place.
All right. The show's going to be ready, right?
Yes.
September 24th. What do we need to know?
So tickets are going to be able to be found online at warehousestudiotheater.com, and then you can also find it at my website, zingherproductions.org. It's going to be, there's 8 o'clock and 2 o'clock shows. We're also doing a Saturday matinee, which is something that we're trying out new to kind of help people who might be parents and need childcare.
Yeah.
A little bit easier to kind of find their way into the theater.
Weirdly,
So-
I actually think the website is Warehouse Studio Theater LKN.org.
Yes.
Studio Theater, LKN for Lake Norman.
Warehouse Studio Theater
LKN.org.
LKN.org.
All right,
Yeah.
that's a .org.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right,
Only
really-
because I checked that. To make sure.
We've changed that website so many times the last couple of years. I'm so sorry. Yes.
All right. Find them, Adam Peal, Jessica Zingher. Their debut production for Zingher Productions is I'm Gonna Marry You, Tobey Maguire. And it starts September 24th, runs through October 11th. They're in Cornelius. Thanks, you guys, for coming in.
Thank you for
It was
having us.
fun. Have a great show.